Our first example is an example of combining like terms. If you will notice, there are no parentheses. When there are no parentheses and there's no multiplication, there's nothing here to indicate multiplication or division, all we're doing is matching the like terms. Once we've matched the like terms, we then put them in our calculator to find our answer. Alright, combining like terms is really pretty simple. All you've got to do is you start at the very beginning, just like you read. You're going to go from left to right. So, what we've got first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark my like terms. If you will notice, negative 10x squared, that is my first term. So, I'm going to look for terms that match this term. How do we know what terms match? We're looking for other terms who has the variable, just an x is the variable, and that x is raised to the second power. So all I do is I go along my list until I find another variable that's raised to the, that is x to the second power. And I have found that 3x squared is my other like term. Notice I have them boxed off, and I included the sign in both of my boxes because we're going to need to know what sign matches what. Alright, what we're going to do is right now, we're going to use our calculator because remember the purpose of this exercise partially is to learn to appropriately use our calculator. So what we're going to do, we're going to type in negative 10 and we are going to add 3. Notice I did not put any x's on my home screen. You cannot put x's on the home screen of the calculator. This is the home screen. All I did is type in negative 10 plus 3. Then I hit enter, and if you'll notice, if you can see down here, we have a negative 7. The calculator tells us what sign to put down with our problem. So what we have is negative 7 and bring down our x squared. So when you combine these two matches, you get negative 7x squared. We're going to mark these out. We're finished with those. Remember the order that we read, correct? Our next term is negative 9x. So what we're looking for, notice I'm going to box this off because we're going to include the sign. I'm looking for other terms that just have an x. And this x is raised to the first power, but I'm looking for other terms that have just an x raised to the first power. So you follow along, you've only got 2 terms left. You notice here is an x raised to the first power. So you're going to box that off. And the number in front of that x is a 1. So what you have, you're going to type, you'll notice is negative 9 minus 1. Notice there's one sign in front of the 9 and one sign in front of the 1. You should only have one sign for each in your calculator, and that's at the most. So you have negative 9 minus 1. And hit enter, and your calculator tells you to write down minus 10x. Notice there's no plus a negative or minus a negative. You have one sign in front of one number. That's the most that you can have. And your calculator tells you what sign that is. So you've used these two, so you mark them out. Which leaves our last term, which is plus 15. There are no more terms. For there to be a like term with plus 15, you just have to have a number without a variable. And this could be a decimal or a fraction, either one. You just have to have a number without a variable. So this plus 15, there are no like terms with it. So all you do is you bring down the plus sign because the 15 is positive, and you bring down the 15. And there are no other like terms, so this is your final answer.